All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves a big boy in the top left side, three-time PiGFest champion here. It is Basilisk SERRAL. Goes for an extractor trick at the start of the game into a 15 Overlord. He is, of course, up against Liquid's Mana in the bottom left side. The Polish Protoss player, an underdog in this series. A qualifier for the tournament, and arguably a surprise qualifier. But he started out early here with an insane... he qualified with an insane series against Spirit. If you guys didn't see that, dude, Mana did some of the dirtiest things with a Warp Prism and a few Immortals that I have ever seen. Like, you guys, whoo, it was gross. It was actually, it was unhygienic for any Terran players watching. But he did some really cool stuff. He does come across the map really early and does obstruct SERRAL's base. This is, of course, the first match in Group A. We played Group B yesterday, doing them in slightly different order, of course, to help with the scheduling for different players and events. But this is going to be interesting, man. SERRAL's been forced to take 17 hatchery. Mana comes in as a big underdog. I would say Mana is such a fantastic player. I always think when I think of SERRAL Mana, them playing in WCS Austin 2018. Fantastically awesome tournament that was. I was there commentating, and yet I can't remember commentating a single match in the venue or what the backstage was like or anything. I just remember getting hyped that Mana was kind of being counted out completely, and he made a shocking run to the finals where I think he even took a map or two of SERRAL, right? It was pretty awesome. But that was the year where SERRAL won every single tournament in the international scene. It was dominant. The only tournament that SERRAL lost that year out of the big ones was the very start of the year. There was the WESG where Maru annihilated him with the old anti-armor missiles that the Raven had. Did damage in that patch, and it was really, really good for spamming down just about anything because they only cost 25 energy, and you could... was it 25? 50? I think it was 50 energy. You could spam them like crazy. So it was Katowice, where he lost to Classic as well, chat points out. Ah, yes, those two at the start of the year. It was Katowice. Lost to Classic, says chat. I think you mean Zest. It was the Glaive Adept that knocked him out, right? And then Rogue went on to... Or Sue, maybe? No, Rogue. Oh, who was it that went on to win that tournament? Anyways, too much history. Let's talk about the game, guys. So we've got one slow Zergling here who's doing his best impression of a speed Zergling, running down the far right side of the map where those speedy zones are, just making sure there's no proxies, no hidden bases. And I think that's very wise. Mana coming in as such a big underdog is very likely to try something cheesy. And he's going for a Stalker here. Is Mana. It's going to delay his Oracle a little bit because it does cost 50 gas. And we will see a Chrono Boost. Actually, not on the Oracle, on Probes. Okay, that's interesting. Mana's taking a leaf out of Clem's book. Okay, this is so cool. He's going to go third Nexus. That Zergling blocking him is a bummer. But SERRAL doesn't block it. Yes, he does. And that third Nexus, this is a leaf out of Clem's book. Clem famously took a bunch of ladder maps off SERRAL with his Protoss, despite barely knowing how to play Protoss versus Zerg. And a big part of it was he just didn't care about having a safe fall-off. He'd just rush a third base and be super greedy. And because SERRAL is so defensively oriented, such a drone-focused player, not a guy who's going to randomly have 16 or 18 Zerglings on the map, can get away with it. You very rarely get punished. TIE Energy Oracle into super fast third, into the Robo Twilight third and fourth gas. This build's become really popular in Europe. A lot of the players there believe in this single Oracle. They don't believe in going any other way. And of course, Mana did a fair bit of this against Lambo in the group stage as well. Well, not the group stage, I should say, but the qualifier. Mana took down Lambo rather decisively. He looked really good in that series. Adept is going to get surrounded. Oracle actually goes across the map. Bit of a wild choice here. The disrespect to SERRAL's aggression from Mana. And Mana is going to not know about this fast lair just yet. 3 mineral lines are already up. Wow. You got to watch out. We're going to see those gases go down soon. Roach Warren in the back as well, but it's a hidden Roach Warren. I can't help but wonder if we're going to see Overlord speed kick in, guys. I'm glued to SERRAL's side of the map, and I'm thinking, why is the Roach Warren hidden in the back? To me, that's a sign of aggression. But he's going 6 gases. And no Overlord speed just yet. 11 workers are on the way. Zerglings coming in on the right side. Grab themselves a probe. Almost get a second, but the Oracle's there to deflect. And there is, of course, the Warp Prism going forwards through the center of the map. He wants to warp in 4 Archons. The Templar Archives has now finished. The gateways are transforming. And look at the timing. They finished transforming. Templar Archives is done. And immediately 4 High Templar warp in on the front. Now, Mana, for those who don't know, if you're not familiar with Mana, He won his first tournament in 2012, 13 years ago for StarCraft 2 in terms of big Premier LAN events. He grew up playing Warcraft 3 as a small child, and he will always be one of the greatest micro players in the world. When it comes to small-scale, scrappy situations, he's amazing. But if it goes to big, straight-up optimized build orders and just macro battles, that's where a guy like SERRAL comes in as an overwhelming favorite. But if Mana can somehow just mess the game up and turn it into a weird base trade where he's microing a handful of units in a Prism, I put him up there even above guys like Parting. In terms of his clutch abilities in small-scale, just hectic situations, he will really show you some of the best play you've ever seen. But getting there and forcing that weirdness is not something you can consistently do in a StarCraft match. And SERRAL, of course, solid as a rock right now. Second Robo coming in behind the first Robo. 6 gases are up, 63 workers pumping out the Templar Archives. We are seeing that Overlord speed now. He could still go for just a maxed out Roach Ravager Queen attack, and it feels like that's what SERRAL wants to do. Fourth hatchery's been delayed a long time. Zealots in the top right denying. A few things will poke forwards. Cannons and batteries going up everywhere. They're going to help secure this, and as long as Mana stays on 3 base, I think he should be able to defend. Cancels that cannon at the very last second. Adept and High Templar are trying to defend. Shield battery will survive as the Oracle tags the Roaches up front. Nothing but mass Roach on the way. Mana does not seem to know about this. I don't think he has enough info, but he actually sees no fourth hatchery. So he should realize. He sees Roaches there. He sees Queens. He's going to try and pick off some Overlords. He gets 2 Overlords. Very nicely done. He sees a lot of Roaches. And look at his vision. No fourth hatchery. I mean, he's got to just double down on the defense. Chrono out as many Immortals as possible. Keep making cannons. High Templar. He's got 800 minerals. If he could just make pylons, cannons, and all that sort of stuff, he's going to be in an excellent position in terms of knowing what's happening. But Zerg is going to have numbers, and SERRAL, my golly, does he have a lot of numbers. The Overlords coming across. They're going to drop the carpet down. It's going to allow the Queens to transfuse as well as move very quickly. I mean, is this enough of a supply advantage? I'm not sure. It feels like Mana's build has been pretty darn optimized, and as much stuff as SERRAL has. I mean, hitting with 170, 180 supply at just 8 minutes, that sounds good on paper, but I look at this Immortal count, the Archons, the High Templar. If you can focus a few High Templar, it could be game-changing. Where the Biles land will also be really important. He's already going to take out a battery on the front line. Stalker's warping in, as well as Blink on the way is an interesting choice. I thought I'd just be seeing more High Templar in here, but I think he's realized just any raw damage to help out would be very, very nice. The Archon High Templar coming in from that right side. Robo has been depowered. It looks like that Robo will be going down. Oh, I think he's maybe burning his Storms a bit too early here, Mana. He's got 1 High Templar on the left. Still 2 on the right side. Energy recharge about to be ready. Robo number 1 goes down. I wouldn't mind another Robo getting built. Stalker's not the highest value unit, but they will do enough, especially with the Storm to defend this. Big Storms all over the Roach Ravager. The Stasis Trap up front. Prism trying to pick up those Immortals to dodge, but there are Biles everywhere. Stalker Archon comes in from that right side. There's another Storm available there. Is he going to use it? SERRAL's army is getting really wounded, but Mana cannot chase him. He needs to hold position and wait for a few more warp-ins. Oh, the Robo Immortal unit's getting targeted. Good hot pickups, though. Stalker's on the right side. A couple of these Ravagers will die as they try to get away. Actually, only one of them goes down. Stasis Trap, unable to land. Mana's going to push out. Is he getting baited a bit too early? I think he might be. The Prism trying to pick up and save these Immortals. Great micro for Mana. Can he hang on against the onslaught of SERRAL? If he could get 1 or 2 more Storms in here, he'd hold on really well. Energy recharge, though, has been used, and there is no High Templar on the field. It's just Stalkers and Immortals. That being said, the supply is getting dangerously close, and look at the worker count. It is so close to even here. Blink, not quite ready for Mana, but he is doing excellently. Queen, coming forward to push back that Oracle. Blink almost ready. 13 Stalkers, 5 Immortals against 30 Roaches, 6 Ravagers, Tunneling Claws. Burrow is on the way. 4th Hatchery's going up in the corner, but it's not very quick. Oh, where's the Prism? 1 Immortal does get focus fired because the Prism was on the right side. Stalkers come forward, try to punish, not able to get too much. SERRAL using this forward creep spread to allow himself to micro and pick off the opponent's units. He's also started adding some drones. SERRAL is going to try and limp out of this situation. He's been on 3 bases for a long time. You can see he's transferring workers from his main to the top right. He's going to need gases there. He's also going to load up Dropper Lords and try to start getting those Tunneling Claw Roaches into the other bases. Storm Drop available for Mana. He's a big fan of trying to do things like this. Doesn't have any detection right now, so he can't get rid of the creep, but he's going to chase down this army nonetheless. Does do a nice Storm Drop, but he loses the High Templar. SERRAL very quick to focus that down. Stalker's chasing him, though. Super decisive maneuvers here for SERRAL. Mana chasing. He's going to warp in more Zealots. Those Overlords, even those are pretty juicy pickoffs, man. Gets a whole bunch of these Overlords. And SERRAL, he's taking a lot of damage, but at the same time, mass Roach Drop counters into the main base. Recall is probably the right option here. Mana, though, it looks like he's worried about this game going too much longer. He wants to make it messy. He wants to make it decided now or never. The Immortals lagging behind, though. Forcing a fight without the Immortals being on the front line is a bit dicey. He does pick up some Immortals, ferries them onto that front. At the same time, he's giving up his main base. His production is going down. Mana does not want to let this game go much longer. Not against a guy like SERRAL. Not when he's got an advantage like he does right now. Oh, here we go. Storms did not quite land. The Immortal count is very scary, but SERRAL's so good with his move and shoot. Stalker's clearing out that third base, but it's the production getting depowered that's a bigger issue right now for Mana. Mana's +2, probably not going to finish in that main base either. The Immortals are getting hit by Biles, and oh my golly, this fight. Can SERRAL hold on? SERRAL, he's fighting against 5 Immortals and a Warp Prism, being microed by one of the best micro players in the world, but he's killed the entire natural of mining. He's still got his main and his 4th base mining. He's going to lose his natural expansion. I don't know, this is a very messy situation, but I think messy actually favors SERRAL since Mana's hold was so good on his earlier all-in. Immortal pops out, he's going to try to just casually walk away from those roaches, but SERRAL, he's always watching. And he does get a lot of damage. The Immortal going to get to safety. Mass Gateway and a Stargate rebuilding on the right side. But he's lost his Templar Archive, so he can't spend his gas. Imagine if you could remax on Archons right now. It would be absolutely unkillable, this army. You can see now SERRAL's trying to isolate it. He does go for the recall. One Immortal will get focused. And these Stalkers should be able to blink away if Mana's watching. But oh, he leaves 4 Stalkers. I guess they were cornered anyway, as there were more Roaches running back from his side of the map. At the end of all this, you've still got 3 bases up with 40 probes against 30 drones, which is actually great for Protoss. You've got an observer, so you can clear up the creep. You've got High Templar there, which is key. He didn't lose the Templar Archives! He did not lose the Templar Archives, ladies and gentlemen. He can make High Templar. That is massive. That is so big. But oh, the Roaches! SERRAL one-shotting the Immortals. The decisiveness. Where? Where is the Storms? He used the energy recharge on the Oracle, not the High Templar. Storms would have punished that so hard, but he just lost 3 Immortals. He doesn't have Robos out right now. He's got 1 Robo here in the natural, but losing those Immortals potentially game-changing. SERRAL, is he going to be able to win this game? He might be able to. Immortals getting caught out. The Immortals getting taken down by the Roaches as they pop. Same time, probes in the natural are getting taken out here as well. The Roaches going into that main base. Oh, this is a disaster. But High Templar goes to the top right with the Prism. I'm not sure why he's got a... Oh, he's going to Storm Drop. Mana doing things stylishly right to the end. I do think a few Zealots here could actually be way more effective than that, though. That Storm and Prism would have been game changers back at home with his Immortal army. Wants to keep things interesting. He's going to take out the Spore Crawler, and that will allow him to come in and pick up these Zealots. But the main base under siege. Natural under siege as well. A couple of these Roaches do go down. These Roaches, of course, could burrow and hide, forcing those observers. SERRAL's income on 26 workers. Let me describe that, guys. SERRAL right now is a piggy bank Zerg. And Mana is also... He's like, I'm poor. I'm poor. But the difference here is Mana grew up with a trust fund. SERRAL did not. I mean, Mana, at any point here, he can sell his $200,000 car, right? He can max out one of his credit cards that has an $80,000 limit on it. I mean, he's got a lot of options he can do due to the nature of Archon, Immortal, High Templar. SERRAL, on the other hand, he has Ramen. He has a used couch with some stained cushions as assets under his belt. Tunneling Claw Roaches, guys, with only +2. It's not a great army. I'm not saying you can't, you know, you can survive off Ramen for a long time. It's going to be tough, though, when your opponents have all the assets that Mana does. I mean, these are good units, dude. Mana has managed to stabilize, and I can't believe it. SERRAL lost his first map last season in PiGFest 5. He actually lost that in the PiGFest 5 championship, and it looked like he was going to lose to, I think it was Trigger there, right? Once again, starting with a bit of sweat. His early Roach Queen push not working out, and he's under pressure. Mass Zealot in the main. SERRAL doesn't even try to fight it out. And Mana manages to stabilize and hold on. Fantastic efficiency. 7,000 resources more efficient. And what a great hold. So stressful dealing with that Mass Ravager Roach Queen push. But he microed on both sides really well. Didn't panic and just did that with so much poise. Beautiful play for Mana. Well, what a fantastic game one there for Mana. Good hold, man. I feel like SERRAL's so good at bringing out these timing attacks that just get him easy wins sometimes, but Mana will not go down in that game one. He'll hold the all-in, and then even with SERRAL trying to get tricky with the Tunneling Claw Roaches, the army movement not able to find a way through, and Mana starting off with a win is a big confidence boost as he goes yet again the early probe across the map. SERRAL goes to the 15 Overlord. I thought after game one getting blocked, he might anticipate this, skip the Overlord and go for that super fast 15 hatchery. Historically, Serral's always prioritized getting the hatchery down. He always feels like if he can not get blocked, that's a way better plan. But I think what's happened here is SERRAL actually expected Mana to play the mind game. And after blocking game 1, he's like, you know what? Mana's probably not going to scout at all. Go gas first. I don't want to be compromising my build order because SERRAL usually is very good at playing the sort of poker game in the early stages and making sure he does not fall behind. In fact, he has probably one of the highest rates of getting the hatchery down, even when the Protoss tries to block it. He just is very good at anticipating and kind of randomizing his own play a little bit, but also just making sure he can kind of study his opponents and know their habits. Mana with a little bit of probe harass, but not really finding too much. Counter micro going down very well for SERRAL. Of course, we had the interview with him talking about how annoyed he gets at this probe harass, but we'll see. It looks like he's handling it about as flawlessly as one could. Oh, he finally gets bounced off a patch there. You can see one of his drones just went walkabout. Mana being a nuisance. Very well played. Let's look at the APM here. Doesn't look like either player is using the rapid fire button to spam the clicks, but basically what you can do is you can set up a hotkey. So you hold down the button and you don't even need to click and it'll just spam clicks wherever your mouse is. It's tournament legal, but neither side dipping to that. We could tell because their APM was not up over 1,000, where if their APM's up at, 1,200, 1,500 APM, usually it means they're using that button. Or if you click on a probe and then you see how you can see that those little green circles where it gets clicked. If those are getting clicked down so fastly that it leaves basically a green trail on the screen, that also is almost certainly a hotkey being held as opposed to these individual clicks that you can see going down at a much more human pace. Drone zergling there. Probe comes back in for Mana looking for the blocky block. He's gone Stargate behind this. SERRAL did only open 2 Zerglings, which is not enough to kill a pylon if he commits to it, but because there's no Adept coming across the map, it's just a non-chrono opening. It is what it is. Now, these probes here, a little bit weird with the long-distance mining. This wasn't Core before Nexus, was it? No, it doesn't feel like an early Adept, so SERRAL's going to get his 3rd down. Stargate's going to come in. And Tokamak, a map that is very much like Alcyone. We do have a Protoss player, an Avatar over there, playing on the keyboard, by the way. That's what I love about this map. Friggin' adorable. Just having a bit of fun down there. That's going to shade in towards the 3rd. Threatens the 3rd while heading towards the main. Using that Adept mobility very nicely. Comes in on the right side, SERRAL. Where's the Spore trick? Good pullbacks. And he's going to not chase with the Zerglings because he doesn't want to give easy targets. Mana, not going to lose that Adept either way, so you don't want to give him any easy pickoffs. 3rd Nexus goes down 3.5 minutes before the wall off, before the pylon. Well, actually, the pylon goes down there as well at pretty much the same time. That is so nice. And I really think, I'm almost surprised SERRAL didn't try to do something like 16 Zerglings this early game just to take advantage, but you can see Mana's hanging around with his Oracle, so as greedy as the opening is, the way he's using his units is very safe. Just 1 Adept, 1 Stalker into an Oracle, straight into that Robo on the natural, and he's going to shuffle his units around, interestingly. So he wants to put the Adept in the wall. Stalker's going to try and hunt down the Overlord. If he moves to the left, he can chase it inwards. SERRAL not watching. A rare mistake for SERRAL. If he reacted quicker, he could have saved that Overlord. As it is, it might go down here. Oh, dude, look at this furnace. Oh, that's so cool. And the Overlord does escape as well. Oh, that's friggin' awesome, man. Stalker goes after the Overlord. It gets caught. Oh, okay. These little details. This is what happens when you beat SERRAL, guys. He gets mad. He gets mad. He starts bringing out those tiny little nerd details. Those little nerdy study details where he's like, I am going to catch you. Does get rid of one of the only 2 gateway units with this opening. And that's what makes this build so streamlined, guys. 1 Adept, 1 Stalker, Oracle. This opening build order is absolutely fantastic. I was talking about this the other day with a bunch of pros, and they said that build's not even good. One or two Protoss players said to me, and I was like, guys, I'm not saying it's the most. I'm sure there's something you could maybe do to snipe this opening of Mana since he's so low on units, but like it is absolutely a good option with the Oracle being recharged on energy. Like, I've watched Clem do this and beat SERRAL with his PvZ off race multiple times on the ladder. It's a very good opening. Now, Overlord speed again. Guys, is SERRAL just going to hit a big Ravager attack again here on Tokamak? Forge is going down. Archons are coming in. SERRAL, the mad lad. That would be kind of crazy. Lings do get... Oh, this is a really good start, though. 5 probes. This is really good because the Adepts are over there. The Archon's just walked in on the front. Oh no, Mana going for a 3-prong pressure, but leaving his own third wide open. Roaches are on top of it. The Adepts aren't focus firing. Oh no, that's going to get shut down. At the same time, Archons run forward. They run into Queen Roach. They don't find any damage. The Prism might take a bit of damage trying to get into the main. Lings do have to fall back because of the Oracle there. Looks like 4 kills on the Oracle. I mean, 4 Zergling kills for 7 probes. That is fantastic. Only losing 2 drones here. And SERRAL is massing Roaches and Zerglings. I think it's only a matter of time until he loads up an Overlord with Queens and goes across this map. Or actually, he's not even going to bother. He's just going to lay down the carpet. He's just going to make a creep highway and just going to go with mass Roach Ravage Queen. This is also much faster than his previous attack. Remember, this one is going to be hitting with no roach speed. No roach speed, 9 roaches, no +1 weapons or anything like that. And it is just a massive Zergling Ravager. He's going to have about 16 to 18 roaches. As many of those as possible will make into Ravagers off of his 5 gases. And then he's going to have Mass Ling behind. Queen's easily going to deal with the Warp Prism. Archon's trying to deal with the Overlords. They don't really find too much. What does Mana have to defend? Storm. There's no way you can get Storm ready in time. His High Templar's up front right now. Maybe he can buy time for Storm. He's got a chrono. It's like 30 seconds out, guys. It is still 29 seconds away right now. Second Robo's just finished and breaking the rock. SERRAL wants the most direct access point so he can get in between the bases and pick which side he wants to attack. High Templar is very far forward. I don't know if Mana realizes Storm is not ready. He does. He chrono boosts it. Storm still 10 seconds away, even with the chrono boost on top of it. Archon, High Templar, Immortal is there. 7 seconds left on that side Storm. He picks it up. He's ready to go for the Storm, but he's exposed. SERRAL clicks the High Templar. Mana was frantically trying to Storm, but he misjudged it. And he loses the High Templar. Oh no, a couple of Storms would have been so good. The Archon's getting surrounded, and Mana is just gonna tap on out. SERRAL tying up the series, not going down without a fight. All right, guys, going to game 3, and we are about to find out about Mana's range. Can he pivot from this? Or does he do the same opening, believe it can beat it, but he just needs a better opening? Cannot get hit by that Ling run by on the 3rd. Can't be losing the early Stalker and then the follow-up units as well. He's going to go for the block yet again. Mana truly believes in the early block. But this will be the game where, knowing SERRAL, I do not expect him to build an Overlord after this. One more drone, and then I don't think we'll see an Overlord. Let's see. When he goes 100 minutes, he might just think, who cares? No, he goes for the Overlord. Okay. So he's going to let Mana block him. Now, I'm not sure if it's because he thinks this is more efficient to just take the 3rd. I would imagine it's because he doesn't expect Mana to block him instantly 3 games in a row. But Mana, I would say, gets the nice little bonus of getting that block down. It's not cheap, though. He's going to send a probe across at the very start. And the gateway goes down as well. 3rd hatchery is going to be building over in that location. SERRAL's had a good game 2. The question is, if you've shown the same counter twice, can you really do it 3 times in a row? I feel like Spire has some potential against this style from Mana. I do think we saw Rogue with a nice little muta pivot yesterday against a very different build order, to be fair, but I think there is something there. Whenever your opponent's going straight for Immortal Charge, Storm doesn't have Blink, doesn't have any Phoenix out, only a single Oracle plus the Prism for scouting. But of course, it remains to be seen whether Mana is still going to go for that Archon drop. I mean, the Archon drop is a very comfortable thing, I gotta say. Like, thinking of like the early days of Legacy of the Void when we first discovered the Archon drop, that was a fantastic, fantastic thing. We were like, wait, you get 2 units whose hit points just regenerate the entire time. Oh, beautiful. You could drop and pick him up. It's healing while it's in the transport. Always feels very, very nice. Now, remember, guys, if you lose this series as either player, you cannot get the fast track to the semifinals. You don't get an extra life in the playoffs. Every single series matters. It's going to be best of 5s to qualify to the next stage, to the group stage, but it's best of 3s to start. So best of 3, initial 2 matches, best of 3 losers, and then we have best of 5 winners match and a best of 5 final deciders match. And yeah, if you lose even one of these series, you will be going into essentially the lower bracket for that playoff stage, which is kind of nasty. So there is no free series here. There is no bonus thing that can happen. Now, I'm not sure if we've got any mods on able to help us run those live predictions. Sorry, guys, I did get a bit distracted, so I haven't been updating those. You guys let me know if we've if any mods are managing those. If not, I apologize if we didn't get to gamble on this game, but we'll make sure we run those for the future series. Stargate. It's coming in there as well. Stalker, going to start taking back this Overlord. Link speed's on the way as well. This looks pretty straightforward so far, but I guess that the question is as well, if Mana goes for that super fast third, I feel like SERRAL could potentially go for 16 Zerglings, snipe it. Like, to me, the best way to counter SERRAL is to be crazy greedy, but also, you know, he's very aware of what people are doing. Like, he really, yeah, and look, it's once again third base before even building your next pylon. And the Ling's going to block it. I mean, even just having a Ling here to block is nice. He's building 4 more Zerglings, so it's going to be a total of 11. He blocks it again. This is really good. These delays are good. He blocks it again. Oh, beautiful micro, SERRAL. And then he runs away. Doesn't throw the Zergling away. He's got 10 Zerglings. Could try to pick off the probe as well. This is already a nice start. This is so SERRAL as well. He's like, I'll build 4 to 6 more Zerglings than normal. Not a lot, but just enough to cause a little bit of disruption and be a bit annoying. Oh, he's going to try to cancel the Nexus. I did not expect him to try to cancel the Nexus, but Oracle's there, so doesn't end up really sacrificing too much. Didn't lose a single unit, actually, so SERRAL's totally fine. Robo's coming in behind this, as well as 3rd and 4th Gateway. Twilight Council comes up as well. I love the early Robo for Mana, as it does allow him to get the Immortal production started very fast. You need Observe, you need a Prism as well. 20 drones on the 3rd, 17 there, 2 on the natural, 9 drones are on that side as well. 3 more gateways in the main. Twilight Council is there. And that's 4 gates, Twilight Robo. Extra pylon does go down. Roach Warren comes up. It's going to be fascinating because SERRAL, unlike these other Zergs, refuses to skip the Roach Warren. And once again, to be fair, this just feels like the same build from last game, doesn't it, guys? I mean, my eyes are glued to that tab, wondering, are we going to see a 6th gas? Are we going to see Overlord speed start? He just did 100 minerals and 100 gas. If SERRAL does the same build 3 games in a row, just with like different timings, that would be kind of wild. It doesn't seem, in my mind, like it would be the best play, but he doesn't have a 4th hatchery on the way, and that, to me, is very bizarre. Spore Crawlers do go down, 6 Roaches already on the way. That's enough, of course, just to deal with the Archon drop. Stasis Trap does get 2 Zerglings frozen there. Of course, SERRAL setting that off on purpose. And 11 Roaches coming out. 6th gas coming. Oh, no, that's only the 5th. He's missing this gas on the natural. SERRAL playing so conservative right now. I really feel like if SERRAL plays a longer game against Mana, he's still heavily favored. We've seen him dismantle even the best Protoss players in the world in late game. Overlord speed does come down. It's a bit of a later Overlord speed. I guess he's waiting for Roach speed as well this time. So it's kind of a half and half. It's not quite as fast, I don't think, as the previous build, but not as delayed as the one in Game 1 either. We've got 2 sentries coming in for Mana. Now that's a big change up. Mana going sentries instead of early Storm. Interesting. Okay. I mean, very fancy. They are very useful. This is a pretty wide ramp, though. Even though 2 force fields can block it, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Forge, 2nd Robo, no Storm on the way. And to be fair, I think sentries are the quicker tool. Queens are coming. I think he sees those Queens are moving out right now. It is indeed going to be a Queen, Roach Ravager, Zergling walk, a big assault. And he's going to march on forward. Ling's already on that northern base. Stalkers are warping in to try and help defend. Immortals are being built, but it feels like Mana's army is just so small. Oracles come in and jump on the Queens with the... Oh, the Archon drop. Queen ambush. Wow, dude. If he gets all the Queens, then the Archons... Or, sorry, the Oracle could fill up on energy and kill a lot of units, but he did lose an Archon for that. That was 3 Queens for 1 Archon. Is that a worthwhile trade? I have no idea. We're going to find out. The Oracle is probably going to want to fill up on energy so that he can just have free reign here. But I imagine SERRAL brings his other Queens across the map as well now. Oracle using its laser beam there to cancel one of those Roaches that was trying to morph into a Ravager. Field of shield batteries and cannons trying to get erected, but it's not going to have time. Actually, it's pure shield battery. The sentries, nice force fields to start. I don't know if that's good enough, though, actually. He is getting so exposed up front. The Archon gets taken down. He's only got Stalkers and Immortals with no splash damage. You can't really punish a Zerg for clumping their units up as they thrust forward. SERRAL here with a decisive Roach thrust. That is so many units. 2 more Immortals on the natural, 2 in the 3rd base. Great hot pickups with the Prism. Really good Prism micro by Mana in this game. He's got to be cautious. Those numbers of SERRAL are just so crazy, man. The Lings coming in are really good against the Stalkers and Immortals as well at just soaking hits. Just absorbing damage, making sure they're not landing hits on those Roaches. SERRAL supply is starting to wane, though. Mana, dude, the Prism Immortal micro is insane. I think he's actually done it there. And I think SERRAL... I mean, okay, it's not over till it's over. Prism's out of position. Oh, no, these sort of mistakes you can't afford. He does lose 1 Immortal. Okay, only 1. Could have been much worse. but only one Immortal does go down. No charge this time, so the Zealots, they're good for tanking. They're not good for much else. 4 Immortals are alive in the front line. Spire goes down as well as the 6th gas right here. No 4th base for SERRAL. He's incredibly committed. He's down in workers right now against Mana as well. Remember, Mana starts Storm. +1 weapons is on the way. The Immortals on the front line. Good hot pickups though, and as long as you're good with the Prism Micro! Oh no! He doesn't move the Prism out of the way! He accidentally picks up, loses a Prism with an Immortal inside. I mean, I think it's fine for Mana. A bit of mistake there at the end of the fantastic streak of good micro that's kept him alive in this game, in this series, with that Warp Prism. Holy moly, we've got 5 Immortals there. 6th one coming out. Stalker's hanging out front as well. Those 2 High Templar on the front lines, just chilling. Overlord does go down on that side. That one pulls away. Mana, of course, has traded very well. 1,500 resources more efficient. Doesn't need a 4th base. There's just not that sort of pressure. The problem is going to be when the mutas arrive, and you can see that gas is saving Spire. Almost complete. If you can get out 8 Mutalisks, dance around the bases, and then still have a competitive ground army, as SERRAL, that would be good. I mean, does he have a competitive ground army is the question. Isn't Storm done? Storm Immortal's going to wreck his army. As long as the Prism's not there, though. Okay, new Prism's there. Immortal Storm marching forward. 10 Mutalisks are on the way. Oracle goes down that left side. Ideally, you start building Phoenix now. Blink is already there. Now, arguably, you can defend Mutalisks with just Blink. A few Archons, especially on 3 bases. You don't have to spread too far, but the problem is that Muta count can grow, and Oracle sees the Mutalisks pop. It's a good scout. He's going to lose it, but it's going to give him time to prepare. Normally, a cannon and a battery in each mineral line is advisable. Goes for 1 cannon in the main, 1 in the natural. He's already got 1 in the 3rd base. High Templar are available out front with the Immortal. I think the High Templar Immortal should be able to defend the ground army on their own. And these Stalkers will be needed in that main, but only 4 Stalkers. Trying to split his Stalkers up a bit to cover both sides. Mass Mutalisk feels like a full swap into Mutas here for SERRAL. SERRAL's only on 54 drones, though. Dude, he's playing like Mio Micah. 54 drone Mass Mutalisk right now? I mean, if he droned behind this, sure, but this is an all-in. Do not get this twisted, guys. This is not a long-term play. This is not a macro behind it play. Mana is probably expecting that. I mean, it's SERRAL. You don't expect him to go all in on Mass Muta Zergling. That's what he's doing. Finds a High Templar in the open, a high-energy one as well. Does find an Immortal out in the open as well. Storm, though, damages those. Mutalisks will regen back up. 19 Mutalisks around. He's building 4 Corruptors as well because he thinks there's going to be 2-star Phoenix. It's only a single Phoenix right now. So that's actually, those Corruptors arguably not very important. Observer does see him rotating to the north as well. Feels like SERRAL is in a desperate position. He's up 50 army supply, or 42, I should say. 42, the meaning of life. Could be the meaning of death in this game for Mana, even though he's got a much better army. If SERRAL can catch him out well enough, catch him out of position, he might be able to find some openings. But the Mutalisks really have not found much damage at all. Unit slot stab is closing between the two because the Mutas and Zerglings are finding a few free pickoffs, but doesn't change the fact that Zerg's invested in not the greatest army. And SERRAL here, it looks like he wants Mana to push so he can base trade, but he's not going to get that. Instead, the army just moves out of position, so he dives in. He's got to get some damage soon. He can't wait too much longer. Mutalisks and Corruptor's going to try and fight. He gets rid of 1 Phoenix. 2nd Phoenix goes down as well, but he's got to pull away, and I think that's a very wise pullback for SERRAL, realizing, hey, we can't be fighting into Stalkers when they're wedged behind the mineral line, not with Archon and Storm support. High Templar Immortal looking really nice as well. Now, problem for Mana right now is if he doesn't leave some Archons guarding those High Templar, the Mutalisks could jump on top and get some damage. Corruptor does go down, but of course 7 probes and a cannon in the main base have fallen. Charge! Starting up here for Mana. We've got the base up top. Wouldn't be surprised to see SERRAL take this bottom right as well. He's droning a little bit right now, but he really is like waiting for Mana to get impatient. SERRAL is kind of saying, look, I'm behind, so if I try to play a longer game, it's not going to work. Also, I know my opponent's a bit impatient. I know Mana's not really a slow, methodical macro guy. So he will base trade me at some point, and I am just waiting for that opportunity. This is, I guess I would call this a defensive all-in. Stalker's going to try and fight here against the Mutas, and I think the Stalker's doing pretty damn well. No Plasma Shield or armor upgrades is what's tough there, though. Mutas get through. 7 probes going down. That brings the total up to 16. He's going to find even more on the way out down here from the natural. 1 more Mutalisk will fall. Storm lands. Ooh, doesn't have any more blink ready, though. Oh, Mana maybe losing his cool, moving out onto the map a little bit. He's got to pull back. Does get jumped on by the Mutalisks on that base as well. More probes going down. Storm tries to land. Archon gets jumped on. SERRAL takes care of it. SERRAL looking really confident, really comfortable in this game. Tries to take out an Immortal, isn't able to get it. Stalker's chasing him down, and this is exactly what SERRAL was trying to prompt. He pounces. He's realized he's made Mana pull out the impatient move. Mana's going to go across the map, but Mana recalls some units. It's not all of them, though. It's only a small section. SERRAL realizes, okay, I got to fight this, but there's a lot of Storm in there. He's going to eat a few of these Storms. The High Templar do go down. Mutas dive on top at the same time. He's down here at the same moment. High Templar landing big Storms on the Mutalisk, but they're not dying. They're just taking damage. SERRAL's base is getting ravaged by the Stalker Immortal. Mana's going to send his army home. SERRAL desperately needs this base trade, but he doesn't have any Zerglings for it. He's still massing Mutalisks. 15 more Mutalisks in that production tab. That's going to take him up to a grand total of 39 Mutalisks, assuming they can pop out of these eggs and get away. You can see he's rallying the eggs away from the Stalkers. He's trying to depower all of the production in the main as well. There's only one gateway and 2 robos still powered. Not much that shoots up. Stalkers, though, are catching some of these Mutalisks as they fly across the map. These ones flying out the left, a few of them are going to die, but actually most of them surviving, and that's really important for SERRAL, because right now he's up against 2 High Templar and 27 Stalkers. Remember, armor and shield upgrades are the best. They are the most important thing when you're facing mutas and Zerglings, these low damage units, especially with the Mutalisk bouncers. If you can ambush Stalkers, that could be big as well here for SERRAL, but SERRAL's on move command, both of them kind of running past each other. There's so much going on in this game. 32 Mutalisks are out, 5 more building, that's 37 Mutas. He's still got the northern base, he's kept his Spire alive throughout this as well. SERRAL making this game a hard situation for the Polish Protoss. He's going to depower some more robos. Stalker count goes after him. +3 is going to finish in this back corner, which is kind of funny. I was not expecting that to survive all of this. I think going after these pylons, they're all juicy targets, but he doesn't want to get his mutas kind of caught out of position. 37 Stalkers beats the Stalkers. If he can get the High Templar, it'd be big. Oh, he's got to be careful, though. He goes for the fight. SERRAL, the Mad Dog. He does get stormed, but the Stalkers get stormed as well. And SERRAL, whoa, he's got to work for it. He gets sweaty. He gets down and dirty. But where there's a will, there is a way, and there is no will greater than SERRAL's. Talk about that for a stressful start for the tournament from the big dog.